Curious about tiny houses? Affordable living solutions? Want to see something different? Today is the day. I promised you guys something new. You've been asking forever, would you show us another property? Well, I had to find something that, I think that you all will like. This is Bajan Renovation, the tiny house edition. This tiny house is nestled in a residential community near the University of the West Indies. It is packing a punch when it comes to style, when it comes to budget, when it comes to features. It is a fun space and I cannot wait to show you. I'm Kelly Johnley and this is Bajan Renovation, the tiny house edition. Now there's this saying, I'm sure you've heard it, birds of a feather flock together, right? Cherita and I have been flocking together for what, 20-something years?
Yes.
Don't age yourself. For about 20 years, right?
A good while.
And we are very much privy to each other's shenanigans.
Correct.
And while it was not intentional, I would say that our respective property journeys, right, have somewhat mirrored each other. Cherita is the friend that I would send my pictures to, that I would call Cherita.
That's me.
I got no money to pay these people. Or as we have taken to doing more recently, I see something I like.
Push through, Kelly, push through. Go for it.
I would never buy another house, but I see something. So Cherita is that friend.
Hey.
Now, earlier, it was last year, Cherita told me she was taking on a new project. I was very much unmoved by this because this is the kind of news that we share with each other. Figure it out. That's right, figure it out. But then, of course, the pictures start to come and these pictures start to look more and more interesting. And when I see that Cherita has now put a container house on a property.
Let's call it a pod.
A container pod. And then when I started to see the pictures of said pod, I was like, but wait. But it's like a little extraordinary.
Yeah, you weren't expecting all that.
So, as you all have been asking and inquiring if I would ever feature somebody else's property, I had to come and say an original. And this is it. So, Cherita, thank you for
welcome
getting ready to give us some insight on this good hot Barbadian day to your property journey specifically with this pod. We see it on TV. Right? We see it on Pinterest and we're all mildly intrigued. And I could tell you, and y'all will get the tour, I am stunned at what you managed to fit in this. Now, when you were sending the pictures to me back and forth, I swear this was a 40-foot container. Right? I did not expect to see this, but the beginning is a good place to start. After you get off of Pinterest, where did you even start with this, chick?
Well, firstly, thanks to the great internet. I would have seen other people, taking the concept, having fun with it, and it was always, I always liked the tiny home, design. I always like that because especially being in real estate, I see so much else.
Yes.
But people would be surprised to know that I would happily live very basic. And that caught my attention, but locally I decided, let me look around and see who might be supplying these pods on island, and I found somebody.
Okay.
And that's how the exploration journey started.
All right, so you found a pod.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
I assume this pod was not in Barbados.
No. So
they brought it in for you?
Yes.
Okay.
They're in that business, so they brought it in, and they would have pretty much asked me for my preferred specs in terms of placement of windows,
the size,
doors, size, that type of thing. And I had an idea in mind, and I let them know, and then they would have modified it accordingly once the pod landed here.
Okay, so whenever I think of a container, I am thinking what I see in the Bridgetown port. What you are saying is that it's not quite the same thing. There are pods and there are containers.
Yes. Right?
So when you say you got modifications now, you would have gotten things like what done? Like they put in the doors, the windows, the what? Because this is an Eiffel. What did you get? What showed up in the backyard?
Okay, so essentially persons can ask for a single door either to the front, back, left, right, etc. Or do you want double doors? Would you have wanted any other windows besides the two that the pod was coming with? I think they had offered
Okay.
I think they had offered 2, for example, and 2 light fixtures. Or something like that. And then I would have said, because of what I had in mind, you know what, I see that you are able to offer a hydraulic window, like if it was a food stall or something.
Yes.
You know what, let's have that. I'll pay additional for that extra.
Yeah.
Because I think it adds a fun element.
It does.
Yes, and the 2 light fixtures were fine because one is in what serves as the bathroom and one in the open plan living space.
All right, so you touched on 2 things that I like. Fun, and this is a fun space,
Yes.
and we will definitely show them the fun features.
So you're gonna pull this.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So you touched on fun, and I'm going to ask you how you packed so much into here. But what I do need to know, because we are all curious, what does this cost? I know that, I believe this was an out-of-pocket project.
Correct.
So much like me, you've got a certain amount of money that you know you have to spend, and then we're taking this week to week.
I'm praying.
Then we're taking this week to week
Praying and
campers.
interceding.
Sharita and I have had many a conversation, many. So she's now on the receiving end of my conversations where you have given them all of the money, like the like the bank account is here, and you know that by Friday, like here,
hovering
like
above zero.
I don't think people understand how close to zero. Like there is a number below zero, right? It has a red, and it's written in red, right? So you get down to there, but you know these people are working, which means that by Thursday, Friday, and it's usually Thursday because somehow a payday is a morning. Payday is a morning. It's not a day. It's a morning, right? So I know that you would have had a budget in mind, and then I was with you blow by blow for the ending.
Yes.
What does this cost?
All right.
What
So
are big blocks?
obviously it depends on which distributor you deal with, what specials they're running, etc. But the pod itself would have been between 17 to 22,000 Barbados based on the modifications that you wanted.
All right, and for clarity, the pod is the structure,
Let's call it the shell,
the wall, the floor,
the walls,
the ceiling,
and the floor. Yes,
the walls.
Yes.
And you said modifications, which would be like, you said you wanted your windows, you wanted your double doors.
Correct.
Because I do know I see people using these for small boutiques and for salons.
Correct.
So that is your structure.
Yeah.
Is your structure something like this, or this
No.
is now you coming in and doing something?
So imagine just a shell in the shape of a rectangle. It came with a very lightly lined vinyl floor.
Okay.
Right? So it's not tiled or anything. If you want to then transform that aspect of it, that's entirely up to you.
Okay.
Normally it would come, I think in my case, it would normally come with 2 or 3 windows, X amount of electrical outlets, 2 light fixtures, and so forth. So I made those work for the most part, but I wanted double doors.
Okay.
Right? Double frosted doors. So
Yeah.
I wanted something different. So there'll be a cost attached to that.
Okay.
I wanted kind of like a food truck, how you would have a hydraulic window that could open out.
Yes, I like that's
Yes.
a fun feature.
Yes.
It's giving beach house in the middle of the city.
So I wanted a blend of louver windows and that. So that would have been a cost.
Okay.
And then because I wanted to put in things like AC unit and have a TV, it would have initially come with I think it's an 8 socket panel, let's say, or 8 switch panel. I'm not sure the terminology.
Yeah.
But I had to then upgrade to something that could hold 24.
Okay.
Because obviously I needed more power.
Right.
Right? Things like a little induction, a little teeny stove top. If I wanted to put in microwave and toast oven. So that's where electricals you needed to have more. So I would have paid additionally for that.
Now, you spoke about the structure, but obviously the pod is sitting on something. It's not sitting on dirt.
Right.
Is that a part of the structure, or do you have to put that in?
I would have got the ground prepared beforehand. Let's say that may have been anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000.
Okay.
And that was involving setting up a small, short column foundation. But as you said, it needs to sit evenly on something.
Yes.
So the masons would have come in and made sure everything lined up right and prepped it before the pod even got here.
Got you. So all in, and as I say, I know some of it is subjective because I know that for at least 4 weeks, anytime you talk to Cherita, I just bought a lamp. I just bought it. I just got a rug. I found this thing on Facebook Marketplace. Then it was, I'm going to collect this. I'm going to collect that. Listen, she was collecting furniture for so long, right? That I am grateful to be able to see where it is. Like, it was a never ending. I don't see this thing.
It's addictive.
Yes. So all in, what I'm looking at, you would say you spent roughly what?
I would say including decor, AC unit, building out, little kitchen area, sourcing a fridge, plumbing, fixtures, etc. I am guessing that was anywhere between 10 to 15,000 extra over what I bought it. So you could possibly end up spending anywhere. You could keep it on a very skin and bones level at like 20, 22,000. And you could go all the way out to probably 35,000.
Okay.
I'm guessing that kind of ballpark figure, depending on taste.
Because you said it was a outer pocket, and I can tell you, well, we all know at some point we just start counting because we preserve our mental health and we don't need that negativity. So all y'all that keep asking me how much, my renovation is costing, I want you to know the contractor did call me today. He needs $8,000 today, and he said to finish everything he needs another $25,000.
Oh my gosh,
okay. Now I kept telling everybody I had $16,000. Right? I've been picking at it, but the point is, I have the 8 to give him. We need to come together as a community. We need to come together as a community for the 25. Okay, but we ain't even bothering my head about that. That's another day. So. The word I heard was fun, and this space is fun. It is fun, it is comfortable, it packs in a lot without feeling cluttered.
Yeah.
You were telling me, just as we were walking around the yard, that you were trying to imagine what it would be like if you lived in it. Tell me a little bit of what that process was like and how it informed your very good design choices.
Thank you. Well, firstly, I wanted something playful that if I just wanted to retreat away from lifing,
yes,
I could come in here and it feel like home as much as possible. So for that reason, I made it nice and colorful. I made sure the colors, at least, you don't want to get too matchy.
Yes,
but there still needs to be some cohesion. So you will notice blues, aqua, those types of colors that take you to the beach.
Yes,
and help you with mental relaxation. But then I wanted that if I wanted to just tuck away for a weekend, it could feel like a hotel room.
And everything you need is here.
And everything is here.
And as much as it's here, everything does not meet the eye because I see this chair here. I realize he's doing double duty.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
There is a bed.
Yeah, there's a bed.
Right, which is also doing double duty.
Correct.
There is open space.
If you want to. Yes.
If you need it. It's a functioning bathroom, because I don't know why I kept feeling like, I'd be bathing outdoors, but it doesn't. It's not. It actually feels very much like a big ship cabin. It doesn't feel dinky, and that's always what I used to think, that when I see people talking about these container houses, like,
that is why I give it the name Chill Out Cabin.
Chill Out Cabin. Okay.
Easy, uncomplicated, but yet, meeting all of life's needs, because we need our creature comforts.
Yes, I don't feel I do not feel like I am roughing it in here. And you know that I'm not your friend for that. I'm not your friend for that.
You and your bougie self could handle it.
I felt like I could,
you can handle it.
Like I could come. I was like, okay, we can do this. So the next question I have for you is this, right? Because I do not think people know. I mean, I think I've done my best to at least share what the trials.
Oh, the trials. Tribulations.
Right? Now, if you all thought that I was brave, tearing off my roof and my side wall, and then going to the bank and thinking that I was going to get the rest of the money. Cherita, how you get this container in here? Because one thing I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is in a residential area. A built-up residential area near the university, meaning that they're in the space that you can't drive. This cannot come in on a flatbed truck, right? This has to be placed here. Cherita, how you place this here? Because you ain't got no door to pull this through.
Let's put it this way. I know what it is like to feel the blood leaving my body. I do. Imagine a crane hoisting it from the front of the house. So a flatbed truck did bring it, but then a crane hoisted it, and I stood there trying to be grown up and adult, but as it continued to just hang above the roof of the existing house that is there.
And this is a house that was being renovated.
And as it dangled just probably about 7 meters above the house, I felt the crane operator could have carried it higher.
Yeah.
He seemed comfortable. But the thought of that dropping down and crashing through the existing house.
Your insurance company did not know what you were doing.
I didn't. Please and thank you.
So you threw this over the house?
It was thrown over the house.
And you just hope for a safe landing?
And hope for the best.
I hope for the best?
Yeah. Yeah. I know that the heart can stop for 1 minute and 15 seconds without detriment to the body. Let's put it that way.
But you were brought back?
Yes.
But this took your soul?
It snatched it. It snatched my soul. It snatched my soul. That's all I could say.
Cherita, what you would have done if you think fall off?
Let's not talk about that.
Anyways, so this thing has taken all of your money, taken all of your money, your patience, part of your soul. I know that we went through months of, I don't know how you're going to pay this person, right? So you would do it again?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a thrill and an exhilaration in bringing something that is nothing into a wow moment. Is that when you talk about self-actualization and soul satisfaction and words like fulfillment, that's what it comes from. Doing what is going to cause you heartache, deep distress, wailing and gnashing of teeth and travailing. And then seeing the fruition of your work. The reward makes it worthwhile.
And you know what I find happens over time? You build a capacity for it.
There you go.
You do build a capacity for it, because I know everybody's at different stages of their home journey. You may now be looking to buy something, or you may be on your 5th property, or you may be doing an Airbnb. And every time you're learning something for the first time, do know there is the collective wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Right? But when you go to do it again, the things that truly fazed you before, right?
Walk in the park.
Walk in the park. I'm always a little like, whenever people are a little fazed by going to the bank and saying they gotta go through this bank,
Been there, done that.
Like whatever, like show me where you ain't got no roof for nobody. Like I be thinking to myself, you ain't a bank man, you up for information? Put the things in his zip file and just send it to the people.
Let's do it.
No. We got things hanging over roofs now.
Let's do it.
We ain't got no roof, we ain't got no money. I remember a time I had somebody come in for a property in Coverley, right? The conveyance was not complete. Alright, I can tell you on this now because this property has been
Confession
done.
is definitely so. Let it out.
This property has been done.
You're
now.
in a safe space.
It's a safe space. I want you to know that I ripped out this wall in this Coverley property before the conveyance was complete. The whole house was renovated right before we closed. I don't know what possessed me. Like, I came back, I was like, you out of your sense of mind. Right? It was done. But you know what? You can't get done until you have your everything complete. Cannot get the electricity turned on. And I remember the family that was coming on Monday afternoon.
Oh gosh.
And see me, right, at 12 o'clock the Friday before. Listen, I don't care what was going on in the world, the Lord heard me that day. I I mean, all manner of wailing, gnashing of teeth. We cried out to God. We made sure that the lawyer had everything. We put our pregnant light on power on notice. You know, I mean, like, I could have called on the whole of heaven. And this is stuff that should have been done ever since. This house was renovated on a generator. Okay? And I remember there at 5:30 in the evening, as you know, business is closed, right? Business is closed. These people are coming to the Barbados.
The Barbados.
To the Barbados with their children to go inside this house, which you took their money from already, right? You only get the closing documents and everything like that week. And I remember sitting down in the house, right? And I saying, okay, I'm probably at my expense. I'm going to have to put them in an Airbnb until I sort this house. I am working through my tribulation.
But you're God's child.
God's child. I sitting down now in the house, and the house quiet.
And hot.
So, you know, we can't feel it. And I just remember hearing a hum in the house, right? I hear a hum. I literally said, And the thing is, my thoughts were busy because I wasn't hearing the hum before. I hear the hum. I in darkness, you know, and the house is humming. When I get up, about to leave now to go and tell my mother what happened, right? Just like through the corner of my eye, the fridge looked different.
Oh, it shook a little.
The light was on in the fridge. And you should see me walking to press the light switch. The light was on in the fridge. The fridge just looked a little different, you know? I said, Lord, could it be you?
Speak to me. Speak to me.
You should have seen me, right? You should have seen me turn on the light. I was like, wait, the light on. And she was like, so the light wouldn't be on? Don't worry, you know, we can't tell our parents what he's
they understand.
Listen to me, right? The only thing that topped that was going to the bank with this house now. No, y'all could give me the disbursement. Kelly, you took off the roof. No, I told you I was going to take it off. No, you said you were taking off the ceiling. This is not a ceiling. This house has no roof, right? And no sidewall. So when you get them back on, you could come to us.
Oh my gosh.
So it just shows you how you build capacity.
You build capacity. I see what I would do to encourage people. Like when you hear the numbers that I call for the property, don't think I had that money sitting down. No, sir. First of all, obviously I saved up for the initial goal, which was to make
to get out the block.
There was no money for anything else. But you know what? It came piece by piece, like manna from heaven, as it was needed. Somebody would put it in my hand for a job, and I give it to the mason.
That is how I
Somebody
feel.
Put it in my
That's
hand
how I feel. It's like here,
and I give it to the plumber.
Here, and you're so busy. You must be doing so well.
So don't fool yourself that you have to have
everything.
Everything.
But to start,
yeah,
I tell people that start.
Just start.
Just start. Well, y'all got an earful and an eyeful. Certainly more than I had planned to share, but I really wanted to be able to show another property. I am so glad we had something that was unique, something that I think people would be interested. I hope y'all like it. Let me know in the comments.
You better like it.
You better like it here. There's a lot of work to do these things. Real effort. You got a nice little look around, but Cherita, you know, on to the next one. It's like having a baby. You know, after you have to deliver, you will never do this again.
I know, but it's gonna catch by itself.
It's gonna catch
by itself. I catch him back myself.
Don't worry.
I'm taking my vitamins.
The best joke is, right, I don't have the $25,000 as yet that they asked me for, but you know who went and look at $4 million property last week? I'm Kelly Johnley, and this is Bajan Renovation.